Recorded live from Stockton, California, this is Jammin' with the Best.
Back in studio,
Episode number
119.
But Who's Counting?
I think it's the only thing he wants to say. We should just name this But Who's Counting.
Yes, but who's counting? But
Somebody.
2 weeks
Somebody
off? Has it been 2 weeks?
Yeah, it was
2 weeks
I
off.
called in from the Wednesday before Waco.
From
Yeah.
the festivities.
Yeah, it was hard to find time to do things like this.
Yeah, what's the hardest part about being on the road?
The same thing I said last time is charging your phone and taking a shower.
Yeah.
For me, it's being sober, but
I mean, I wasn't very sober either. I was sober in the morning time, and then
That's when you got work to do.
I just
At least
assumed
on
you'd
the
be on
course.
mushrooms when we talk to you on the road.
no, none of those.
I don't think that's
Okay.
the go-to. Yeah.
No,
No.
frozen margaritas was the go-to in
Mm.
Texas.
Yeah.
They are prolific in Texas and pretty good.
So what's the wrap up from your trip?
Austin has lots of cool music.
Yeah.
And that's the Austin is like Texas Bay Area.
Yeah,
It's kind of how it felt.
that's
In a lot of ways
In
now,
a lot
right?
of ways. Oh yeah, I keep telling the boys it's the easiest place I've ever bought weed in my life.
Yeah. What's that look like?
Yeah, vending machines on the street.
Oh fuck, no shit.
That's
no
crazy.
ID. You go into like a food truck area, and one of the trucks is just selling joints,
Nice.
and they're all from Sacramento,
Public consumption's fine.
as far as I know.
Well, yeah, I mean, if you're selling them right there.
Like,
So
literally,
far,
like,
so good.
I never got ID'd once for weed.
Well, I
Vending
would
machine, you
expect
just
you
like-
to be ID'd for weed.
You
I
just
mean,
like put your phone up to it, Apple Pay,
oh, gotcha.
joint
Where-
comes out.
Yeah, because here you need to show your ID to go into the club.
Yeah, you got to go into a
Mhm.
room and then go to another room.
Yeah.
So there's nobody there going, "Are you of age?
No, there's someone there like, you want to buy weed?
You should buy weed.
Yep, I
You
do.
should buy weed."
That feels so anti-Texas.
Yeah, but Austin's a little island of its own.
Yeah, it's not everywhere.
That's true.
It's just Austin,
yeah, for sure.
and it's Delta 9 is technically what it is.
Yeah,
Loophole.
yeah,
Which
it is a. That is a.
I got high.
It worked for me.
Yeah, but Austin's cool. Partied a lot with the
Music every night.
pretty close. Pretty close. If you count the times we were in Waco and drove to Austin instead, then yes, music every night.
Wow.
While we were in Waco or in Austin.
Who's the usual crew?
Me and Paige mostly.
Yeah.
But then like the last night was fun. So Sunday in Austin was Germ and Jules, Leah, Paige and Ayla, Greggy Biscuits.
Greggy.
Who else? I don't know. Random Pro Tour crew, Brennan from
hmm
Mod Sun and Bill Randolph with Grit Discs now.
I keep forgetting Bill.
Sarah Hokum.
hmm
Nice. I haven't heard that name in a while.
Yeah. But we went out with everybody. A lot of Angie and Jules.
hmm
Angie's
Nice.
Luke Humphrey's partner. Went to comedy show with Luke and Kev and
Oh, those are
Jake
fun, aren't
Hebenheimer. Yeah. Little packed like sardines. That wasn't too fun, but
Yeah. Good set.
good sets.
Giggles.
Just no room, no leg room.
Yeah.
Like literally your chair was touching the back of the other person's chair.
Well, that's not funny.
No, that's the most people I've ever seen. Like there's zero way that would be legal in California.
Hmm.
Just
That's
like
funny.
fire code.
It's only illegal if you get caught.
Yeah. That's why they don't allow you to have your phones in there. So they don't want to get the fire code.
Don't need any videos
All
of what it
fun and
looks
games
like.
till the drape goes up in flames.
But yeah, good trip overall. There's a lot to do in Austin.
Yeah.
Outdoors and music and
Yeah.
all the things.
Weather was good.
Windy.
Good.
Hot at times also.
We're not used to that yet.
Lots of rain one day
Next
too.
week.
Well, 2 different days. The day I called you,
hmm
called in, it poured. And then Sunday after the tournament, it poured.
Not during
Crazy.
the tournament. That's good.
Nope, not during the tournament.
Fortunate.
Yeah. Rain golf sucks.
Hey, speaking of tournaments, how about Kristen last weekend? Absolutely annihilating
Jonesboro?
competition. Oh
Yeah.
my
Yeah.
God.
There was
That was
25 down. Next fest was Silva at 3, something like that.
2 or
Yeah.
3. Yeah, that was something. else. Like that's
1030
exciting.
plus average.
It's
President's
kind of
Cup.
wild. There was 3 different
Champions Cup.
tournaments where pros were
Hmm.
last weekend.
Yeah.
champion.
New
Well, they had
Orleans.
to figure out where they had the best chance of winning.
It's a little bit like just like where they wanted to go.
Kind of an off week to go find
Yeah.
money someplace else.
Yep. You want to
Fun.
join the Go Throw group? You want to go New Orleans? You want to go
That's a
Jonesboro?
nice
Yeah.
choice. Those are
Yeah.
nice choices. That's pretty fun. And it's good to spread it out and give everybody a look at the top pros in different areas.
Mhm.
Yeah.
But Christian, I mean, I would go someplace else if I was going.
I'm surprised she didn't go to the Go Throw event.
Yeah. It seems like FPO hasn't clicked as much there as MPO has.
Now, Go Throw was where?
Persimmon Ridge,
Yeah.
What state? Was that
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
It's
Okay.
also in
So, but who was that one owned? Was that?
Huh?
Owned Scoggins? Was
I
that the one
don't-
she was at?
I'm not sure.
Like who won
Maybe. I
that? Jack came in
know
second or something.
MPO had like Gannon, Calvin, Kev taking it down. Shout out
Yeah.
Kev.
Shout out KJ.
Good job, KJ.
Beat Heimberg and Gannon.
Because the payouts, the 2 tournaments I looked at, which was Jonesboro and then the other one that had most of the top
New Orleans.
females. New Orleans. So it was New Orleans. Okay.
New Orleans had
only
Paige and Zoe.
and
But the
there's
payouts were like double at Jonesboro than they were for the
Yeah, I
second
think it
one.
was a much bigger field.
Persimmon.
Gotcha.
Kev won like $6,000.
Oh,
Wow.
that's
That's
sick.
great.
Yeah, I don't know that I've seen the payouts yet for Go Throw, but that's really
The 2 I looked at was like
encouraging.
1,500 and then 500 or something like that, or
Let's
1,300
see.
500.
Oh, dang it. I got to go to UDisc.
yeah.
I just went on PDG Live to find
It's
it.
not a PDJ event. No,
Yeah,
the
Go Throw's
Throws.
not
Oh, it wasn't? Oh,
Nope.
okay. That makes sense. That's why I didn't see
unsanctioned
it.
all
That's why I
through
didn't see
UDisc.
it. Nice.
Yeah.
That's good turnout for unsanctioned. That's fun.
Yep, their second one. So they started
That's
at the
great.
Hideaway, and that was just like nasty weather. And now Persimmon Ridge.
Nice. Well, it's walking up to Champions Cup. It's going to be fun.
Yeah, yeah. They
What-
go, I think, Eagles Crossing in April. And then we've
Gosh,
got
we're
what?
just a month
MCO
away.
this weekend. Music City out is 1 month away.
Waka, 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 waka.
How do I find
That's crazy.
Man, you got to get better at letting me search Persimmon than just finding a tournament.
I think you can. You certainly have to do past and then search by
I
course.
did, and then it goes event.
What are you guys doing this weekend?
I am flying to Michigan tomorrow
Ah,
to go meet up with Discraft, go to HQ,
sweet.
and then hang out. I'll go to a Red Wings game. Gonna go
Oh,
to see
that'll be
some
fun.
hockey Friday night.
I'm jealous.
Hopefully play Toboggan, but I don't know if it's
Detroit
open.
Such a fun city.
Yeah, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah. Take a, depending on how the weather is, take a scoot right around downtown. And
I think it's okay. I
yeah,
think
it should
the
be
weather's
this
all
time
right.
of year. Yeah.
Discraft's in Wixom, and it's only about a half hour northwest.
Okay.
So it's it'll be real easy to pop into Detroit.
Go
So
by
what, 4 nights.
4
got a
nights.
car.
Oh,
Yeah.
go by Michigan, University of Michigan. There's a lot of cool
Ooh,
stuff
big
around
house
there.
would be dope.
Yeah, just you can. Last year, Tim and I went and did kind of a driving tour, got out and looked around.
Nice.
It's pretty cool. Maybe catch, I'm sure you'll have lots to do, but they've got a cool hockey rink there too. It's all brick and old school Ivy League looking.
at Michigan.
Yeah,
Nice.
Michigan. It's a cool campus. Really
Go
cool
Blue.
campus.
For some reason, I really do like Michigan.
Yeah.
Those pre-Harbaugh days.
And downtown is pretty cool. Scooting around and checking
Nice.
everything out.
I've been riding a lot of scooters recently.
Yeah.
They're fun.
Yeah, Austin, they're fun.
Rent,
San
go.
Francisco, not as much fun. Too many hills.
I
Going uphill is like impossible. You got to
How's
get on
that?
your scooter.
No,
On a bunch of them, yes. Trust me, I just
Oh.
did it.
you just had scooters that weren't charged enough.
No, that was max charge. It's just San
Really?
Francisco's got like
Huh.
so. Not all the streets,
Yeah,
obviously,
yeah.
but some of them streets are
You could be creative, getting around.
sure. Yeah, I was fine, but like, you just
down
you
waterfront is
just
fun.
scoot on it.
You got to
Like,
pedal.
You
Yeah.
pedal and hold the gas, and it
Yeah.
kind of like propels you a little bit.
Better than
grab onto
walking
them.
still.
It's better than walking, but it's still not like
Do
it's a
some
little bit of a hassle.
do some bumper surfing.
Hold on, I've done that on my bike.
Grab a cable car. Tell you what to do.
The issue with that there is all those little rails are sketch.
yeah,
Yeah, the tires caught in them, and
Yeah.
yeah, I spent all
Next
day
thing you know,
Saturday.
your face is hitting the ground.
Yeah.
I spent all day Saturday scooting around San Francisco.
That's fun.
Spent way too many dollars on
Yeah.
the scooter though.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
get expensive.
I mean, so in Austin, we did it everywhere. It was perfect. Like Austin's a great city for it.
Well, if you keep
Wow.
traveling, you just buy your own and travel with it.
No,
Missing Tom did that, right?
Yeah, Missy and there's a bunch of people that have it. To be
Yeah, if you
honest,
got a place to a van or something.
Yep.
yeah, a lot of people have
Perfect.
electric bikes.
Store it and charge it. Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, Luke and Angie have an electric bike. Paige normally has an electric bike, but at least they do at home.
Yeah. It's good for getting around.
Yep, good for getting around and just around the course too.
Especially
for
like
sure.
Luke with the big rig.
Yep.
Like it's nice to just pop on the bike and head somewhere.
Shout out Luke's rig, kept us cool.
Yeah,
Coming some of them hot days.
Yeah.
Rather
got the
than baking in the
powerful
sun.
AC.
I mean, it's an AC. Like
Yeah, it's
any
an
at all. Any at all is like,
AC's better than nothing.
Yeah.
yeah. Like just sitting in the parking
The
lot baking.
humidity.
Like it's so funny watching people like everyone's hanging out in the parking lot, but like they're up against like Luke Sampson's van because it has the most shade, and there's like
Yeah.
literally like 2 feet of shade, and you're just like sitting up against it, like hide on the sun, baby.
That's what it's like back when in Maryland when I go to Delfest. It's so humid, and when the sun comes out, it's like, oh, you gotta scram and find shade because it's like 40 degrees difference
Mm-hmm.
from the
Yeah.
shade. Just block the sun; it's 40 degrees difference.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy.
Road life.
That is road
The
life.
road life's funny. It's a
You're-
funny game.
You're in the cold Michigan. I'm in the cold Wyoming this weekend.
Yeah.
I'm gonna be
Most-
right here for the first
most
weekend in a
programming.
while.
What do the monster trucks sound like? I see that one pop up every now and again.
Funny. Oh God. Yep, let's check our last one.
Last one now I was
For
going to
me-
ask.
Is
for
it
me.
only in the
For
winter?
me. Yeah, I think there's a couple more after, but this is the last one I'm doing.
What's the most people that have showed up for that, or like best venue? What do those look like?
It wasn't this year, but Louisiana. What am I thinking about? Yeah, exactly. Louisiana. What's the city name?
Not New Orleans.
No.
Baton Rouge?
No. Lafayette.
That was going to be my next guess. Should've said
Lafayette, because you're in the Cajun Dome, which is a pretty
Ooh.
cool freaking building. It's an old, like, huge dome, really high up in the middle, comparable to like the Cow Palace
Mhm.
as far as the height of the
Yeah.
dome. And that's our biggest, because I think we do one show there, so you get, I think it's like 8,000 to 10,000 people you can fit in there. All the other venues are under 5,000.
Yeah.
So you have to do multiple shows to get your capacity up.
What's Stockton Arena?
It's like 5, right?
Yeah, 5. I think
Yeah,
you probably
kinda
with the
picturing
floor
around
seat, you
that.
get
I
up
think-
to 6 maybe.
Yeah, I think it depends on the setting, like the
Sure.
Set up,
layout.
yeah.
But
Yeah.
10?
Stanley says 10.
10,
Is
yeah.
it 10 now? With the seats on
up,
the ground? Yeah. 5 for like hockey and basketball and stuff, right? 5 or
It
6.
might be like 6.
yeah.
There's a lot of boxes there.
Hmm.
Yeah.
There are
Yeah.
a lot of boxes
The
for how big.
suites?
Yeah, for how
Yeah.
big the arena is.
What's a suite cost for local arena?
They're
like that?
reasonable.
Yeah.
I know a guy.
I've sat in a box a few times. I sat in a box in A's game back in the day.
Yep.
That was cool.
Oh,
Yep.
dude,
Done
the
that.
football suites,
Yeah.
those are so much fun
Yeah.
out there in the outfield because they've got their own bathroom. They've got all the amenities where the old baseball ones don't.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are fun. The ones at the A's game yesterday, the Sacramento A's game, formerly of the
You
Oaktown,
won't catch me there.
the Oakramento A's,
No, they're the Athletics.
the Athletics. And they have the suite. They have a bunch of suites up there. They look pretty fun. I'm sure they're just a ripoff.
Somehow
Oh,
the most
man.
expensive ticket in baseball.
It's-
This
but-
makes no fucking sense. $100 for a grass seat.
No, yesterday.
Just opening day, probably.
Sure. There's no way that
No, they were under
that minor
100
league
on the
stadiums
resale.
should be anywhere close to the most expensive seats.
Supply
Sure.
and demand.
Is there that much demand, though?
It was sold out. I mean, there
Yeah,
were some
what's opening day?
holds. There were some holds, but like I said, the resale. Like I told you guys before, the resale was really high up until yesterday, and I went and bought because there wasn't much over. There was down
There's
close
no
behind
demand.
home plate. There was a few. There were ones for like a few $100, but the average around were like 100 to 125.
Yeah.
And that was reasonable for a sold out game, the first game of the season. I can't imagine. And they also, the
They're
morning
a
of,
crappy team too.
the morning of,
Yeah.
They're gonna win more games than they did last year.
Set the bar
Sweet.
real high.
Yeah, right. Exactly. The morning of the game, they released $25 grass seats.
Yeah, because they couldn't sell them.
No,
Yeah.
they're doing that for every game. It's sold out. Like season tickets, it's all sold out. You can only get them on secondary market, but they do. The team actually releases $25 day of tickets.
John Fisher bought most of those tickets, I bet.
There's no.
I just wonder, how many season ticket holders did they have last year? How many people wanted to re-up? How many people wanted to buy in now that it moved?
Well,
Certainly a demand or
talking
a supply limitation.
full season tickets. They didn't have this many in Oakland last year.
I mean, yeah, that's what happens when you
because
trade every single player that's good ever.
You had probably had more season tickets, but the packages you have half season, 20 game packs like that. The flexibility of the packages, whereas here in Sacramento, it's all the same. You're full season or nothing because you're limited on seating. So most people buy them to sell them.
Yeah, that's a whole different.
I mean, that's
can of
Vegas,
worms.
right? Vegas. That's for the Raiders. That's kind of what happened there. Especially if you suck, you're selling your tickets.
Let's get a box there.
Well,
That'd be
we thought
cool.
about it.
I'd be curious to see what those are actually like built out,
They're beautiful,
brand new. Yeah, like SoFi too. What does a box look
beautiful.
like there?
I know the Raiders ones.
And what does it cost?
I sat in one when I signed my contract for season tickets. It
That's
was
cool.
pretty cool. They wouldn't open the liquor though.
Yeah, they knew who was
it's
coming.
a prop. I go, no, it's not. It's still sealed.
Yeah,
Let's open that bad boy.
yeah,
No, I didn't spend enough money.
yeah. What would a box cost, do you think, for a single game, say middle of the season, okay opponent?
Oh God, I mean, it was probably seats 20. So you're talking. I'm gonna just go out and say, on the low end, maybe $30,000.
Yeah, I was thinking 20,000.
Yeah.
You know, it's not. It's more than
seats.
$1,000 a person. I'd
Yeah.
say $1,500 a person on
That's
it.
probably,
That would be
that's probably right.
more likely.
Better be showing up with all 20 people, dude. You don't show, you and I got a problem.
You know, the best value there for like the club seats where the food drinks are included, where you're not going to be spending $1,500. I don't think it's closer.
No,
Can we just
not at
make
all. It's the
tickets like
privacy.
reasonable for people again?
That'd be
Because
nice.
People
I'd
pay
like to
money
go.
because
Stop selling them to all these corporations because that's all it is.
But yeah, I get it, but
Like,
that's not business.
I
That's not good business.
I disagree. I think you're making more money in the short term and just losing out on fans in the long term.
You saw that.
No, it's worked for a while, sadly.
What's that? Coastal
Yeah.
Carolina's giving away free concessions.
That's great.
Interesting.
Yeah,
First
free
of all, you guys
concessions.
should give away free concessions or free tickets or something.
Well, you know, Sam was saying
Yeah.
that the schools are going to be getting
Yeah.
some.
I've been saying forever
free
that
tickets.
I think the Stockton Port should allow people to attend the game for free and only pay for concessions.
They give away a lot of tickets.
Yeah, but
throughout
if you just hey, every game is free for everybody until we sell out, you're gonna build a much better thing. You're gonna make more money from people buying concessions,
Be curious to see it play out in a vacuum.
yeah, I mean, there's
or at least like every Tuesday or something, because you're gonna build an audience. You're gonna build a fan base.
you will on long seasons like that. It's tough because you're not going to sell out every game on a long season.
Sure, I get it.
You're not. I mean,
I know this.
The
trust me, I
Yankees
worked
don't
for-
even sell out every game.
I understand
You know,
But how much more would you sell in
Yeah.
concessions if there's more people there?
a lot more than they're getting right now.
Well, then the
Guaranteed.
cost of concessions versus the cost of a seat is different too.
Sure. Well, the cost of a seat's like negligible.
yeah,
Exactly.
It's like the porch tickets you get it for $10.
No, I'm saying it cost of the ports is negligible.
Yeah.
But if you add up $10 for a family of 5, that's $50 on top of concessions. They're not going.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so if you take away that $50 originally, they might end up going now.
you could go to a movie and it's
Sure, and there's a
more,
reason why
it costs more.
There's a reason why movies are failing also. Same exact reason.
I like that this year they're doing $10 for day one.
Yeah.
At least it's
for
a step in the
disc golf.
right
Yeah,
direction.
agreed.
But I'd be curious to see if they said, hey, it's just free. Like next year, O2B Open might be an interesting example because it's going to be a hangover year after the major.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know, next year O2B Open, like Sean Jacob fucking, loses shit hearing it, but like free entry, hypothetically,
Friday.
what would it look like? Dude, call it the whole
The
weekend.
whole
Like
weekend.
take the experiment all the way to the end. And what would people, spend while they're there?
Mhm.
How many more people would you get
Yeah.
there? Would you just have like legit 3,000 unique
think you
visitors
might.
throughout the weekend?
I think you might. And then what does that do? It allows you to get, hey, look how many people showed up to my event last year. Sponsors now
Yeah.
Sure.
have more eyes. And I just think that's, if you want this sport to grow and like to gain more eyes and to be
You need to put
more
butts
like
in
Europe,
seats. You have to.
you have to.
Sure.
Like, guess what? Making everything a VIP package that costs $100 a day is not how you do it.
No, absolutely not. That has not been the ticket to. I mean, VIP packages do cover a lot of expenses, but they're very expensive to produce that seat because you have extra layers of security, you have more infrastructure that to cater to that. Whereas what most successful events do is if they're down on tickets, you push your VIPs, you paper the fuck out of your GA. You give away tickets to every organization because a family of 4 has 4 free tickets, they go, oh, they tell their other families, and then those families want to go, so they buy tickets. So now you're getting a 2, 3, 4 for 1 free ticket paid into to get into. So it's a great marketing ploy. Your GA, you have unlimited space.
Yep.
You put butts in seats, they spend money.
Mhm.
If you don't get them through the gate, no matter how much you make off them getting through the gate, you're never going to make that food and beverage and merchandise. Merchandise and food and beverage is
Where you
huge.
Yeah, it's where you make the money.
Yeah.
I'd be curious for specifically SEO to be open again for next year, what that would look like at the end of the day on the balance sheet for them.
Yeah, I think your last day isn't as practical. You're kind of feeding the preliminary or your Thursday, Friday, or your Friday, Saturday. That it makes sense to do that to build and then make people pay for the last day. You know, that's you really want your biggest crowd the last day. That's what all these tournaments have.
I'm curious if we could push a next year Friday free or like legit just like $1 gets you GA or something kind of crazy.
And then they have to
just see.
I do think you have to market it well also. You can't just say, hey, things are free and then never tell anybody.
Yeah, if they don't know it's free, then they don't care. Still.
And it goes back to the community and going to, reaching out. This year, they're reaching out to schools, your service organizations, your college. There's so many different organizations that will sell the event for you. Because what we said, tell people that don't know anything about the sport that we're doing it, and then we'll come out. We have tons of events in Stockton that
we have the best in the world coming.
Curious, they want to see that. They
it's
want
a
to
major.
See the best. Just let them in, and let them see it. But you got to tell them about it. You have to tell them about it.
No doubt. Marketing is not my background, but it's fun to watch how it unfolds, good or bad, in any instance.
It just seems disc golf in general markets to itself and not much outside.
Yeah, for sure.
And that's restrictive because every other major sport, like top of the world, they market to people that don't play that sport and people that don't know anything about it.
Are disc golfers just too used to people not caring about disc golf that don't care about disc golf? You know what I mean?
It's a stigma. It's a group. No, because I think the pros want to reach out. The pros are out there trying to reach out to communities and trying to teach people about disc golf and getting to the schools and getting kids to learn and throw their first disc.
Sure.
I think there's a little bit of a push from the manufacturers because, like, why does Discraft care to sponsor an event where nobody buys the discs? You know what I mean? But like, so they want the players to. Yeah. They want every fan to be someone that plays.
Yeah, but that's ideally not practical.
No, I know it's not practical, but that's what. And maybe because it's so like intertwined that way, and it always has been.
Yeah, no, it's been that way it's been feeding on like the same people. We've been feeding on the same people. It's like if you know about disc golf, then you're cool and you can come to the tournament.
It's raining hard.
Yeah, it's raining real hard.
I was dumping, dude. You could hear it through the headphones.
I was wondering what that was.
You guys might be able to hear it through the mics. That's probably why we can hear it.
Yeah,
love it.
I was waiting. I've been waiting for years to see how the Pro Tour was going to grow the audience and get more people to show up in every market. And it just that the popularity of the sport and the growth of the sport, it's not translating to the general public. Like it hasn't grown the way
it's trickling. Yeah,
it's trickling, but it's not like
permeating.
Yeah. Man, that was a crazy little.
Dude, that was
still going hard, but it's chilled for a second.
Yeah, wait for us to start getting wet here.
All right, time to go golf.
Yeah, it hasn't translated into, and the events haven't translated into bigger, like exponentially bigger crowds in each market. So it's almost like the tour itself is not pushing local participation and local marketing versus just marketing to disc golfers.
A lot of that's like, I think Europe's so big is because it was on national like television.
Yeah.
And like, so regular people saw it very easily.
I wonder too, like
I think their outreach is better in
Europe.
their
Obviously,
view of it.
European Open's big one. Nokia, it's a major. It's completely free because they can't control the gate. But like, was it huge turnouts at Swedish Open?
Yeah, I'm not
You
sure.
know, was it huge turnouts at PCS Sula? Like
European Disc Golf Festival was good turnouts.
Yeah, in Estonia again. Another.
Yeah.
I guess it wasn't a major last year, but it will be this year. It'll be European Open, but you know, I wonder how influenced we are by that. I think European or the festival does control the gate.
Mm-hmm. And
I don't remember.
European Masters was pretty good before, like crowd wise.
Like Kona Piste, maybe.
Yeah, I think so. I'm pretty sure it's Kona Piste.
I'm going to be watching more of the European stuff this year. I'm excited to watch.
Yeah, bring it on, baby.
Because I've seen a few over the past years, and it's so impressive to see big crowds at some of them. But I don't recall which ones.
Yeah. I mean, Nokia is always the one that tops the list there. They got thousands and thousands of fans. They're lining the fairways like that one. Assuming it's good weather that week this year, end of July, the crowds are going to be insane. I think they've got an expo. Too, right? Yeah, it's Worlds. They got an expo down in the little hockey rink. Did a lot of hockey talk here, but down in the hockey rink, they'll have an expo. We'll be set up. It's like, especially say Niklas and Henna or Evelina, like some Finns are in the mix, or some Europeans. Kristen's in the mix. Like, I think Vino, it's gonna pop off on Sunday.
That'll be fun. That'll be fun. You're gonna be there, right?
Yep.
Bastard.
Oh yeah. Yeah, for sure.
Maybe I'll come. Can I fit in your suitcase?
You're gonna have to leave in May, but yeah,
that's fine. I'm sure my wife won't mind.
We got containers going over there.
Sure, they're airtight.
Yeah, a lot of transit time, but
just make sure you have enough food for the sea journey.
Kibble.
Yeah. Some kibble. Yeah, that should be fun. I again, it's probably not anything that's going to happen, but I would love to see the thought experiment play out of what would it look like if it was free? How many people would you get? What would be like the total revenue? What's the cost of that revenue versus you take the Ports example, the cost of that seat is nothing, which makes you go, okay, cool, give them away. But if you're counting on all your revenue coming through concessions, that has a cost of goods sold attached to it.
Yes.
So it's not as much profit as, a seat is, but I think there's absolutely something to just let the floodgates open.
Yeah, you let it open, but you still have to have a tracking on people coming in versus quicker. So there is like a transaction there to get a ticket. So whether it be $1, whatever.
I mean,
I think you could call it $1 basically. It's good to have data.
Yes,
we're talking about, we think this X amount of people will show up. If you're just eyeing it,
you're also you need to be able to get there. If it's data collection,
sure,
you buy a ticket, you get the information to market to them.
I don't give a fuck about selling people's data.
No, it's not that. It's being able to remarket to them.
Yes.
Yeah. See, I don't think that's the first thing that we should be looking for.
I don't think it is the first thing we're looking for, but there is a reason to track.
Yeah.
No, I think there's a reason to track, but I think there's better ways to do it than just because, I don't know.
Would you want them to voluntarily give up their information if they want, and then you can't track your attendance?
Why? I just don't understand why you need all of their, why can't you just, this is one person? Good.
I think that's okay too.
I understand that you want to give people to add that, email address to mass email them. I understand that, but I think that's that's not what we're talking about here. And it's against, I just want people to show up. I don't want them to try to sell them something later. That'll happen naturally.
No, and that's fine. I think being able to just click, having people come in is super valuable too.
Yeah, I think that is more valuable because that's the first thing we're looking. We're just trying to get fans. We're not trying to
But there's also a limit as well. There is at a certain point, you have too many people.
We're not going to get there.
No, I'm not
worried about that in the short term.
Yeah, those are risk assessments that
Yes.
when you start doing that, your local municipalities will shut you down. The police will shut you down. The fire marshal. will
Sure.
shut you
Okay.
down.
How many people are going to?
That's the whole point of it. It's not just data collection, but it's also how do you don't just let people without
Well, in a
some
sense,
kind of
too, it's-
transaction.
Then at some point you do it like I don't know. I've been to plenty of places where they're like, hey, all right, no more people in.
You need an RSVP at least so you can
Yes.
plan.
Yes.
You know, if you don't know how many people are coming, if it's 300 or 3,000,
Exactly.
like
Yeah,
there are
different.
logistics surrounding that.
Yeah,
If you want to come in for free, you need to sign up. That's it. You know, we've got to have a data. There's got to be a data point so you can plan for the influx of crowd because
It's like a wedding, man. You need an
Yeah.
RSVP, otherwise you don't know the plan.
exactly.
I just think that we're talking about 300 people versus like I don't think it's going to get anywhere near. I think we're going to get like 300 more people than normal.
Well,
If it was free, you think we're
yeah.
only getting 300 people
I
more?
can tell you that.
Yeah.
I can tell you there was an event
I
at
think
the
that goes
country club
against
on
your argument
Sunday,
about it making a
and
difference.
300 people were supposed to show up. Confirmed for 300 people. 1,200 people showed up. So you can't
Well, so
you're in the event
you're
world.
proving
You
my
can't do
point.
that.
Also, like, that's the same thing though because they actually did RSVP.
No,
like-
no, not all 1,200 people RSVP'd.
Well, sure, the same thing could happen here though.
No, you have
Like-
people that
It
you
would, I
have people
think.
that get
Like,
shut
like-
down.
Like I
But
think
then you piss off more people that say it was free, but I can't get in. Like there's a point where you want the customer to return because they get a good product. And if
Yeah,
you just
I just-
open the floodgates, you can't control the customer's experience.
In this hypothetical
I just-
situation that won't come to fruition anyways, we'll hammer out all these details.
Take care of it. But
I just think we should
I think
stop
we should.
using people to purely just to sell them all the time on things. And I think that's a big thing about disc golf is just
It just can't be a free for all though either.
Yeah, I get that, but I understand that point. But I don't want to.
It is a
I don't-
business, though.
I understand it's a business. I do understand that, like 100%. But if you constantly bombard people with only things like, "Hey, this," people aren't going to end up converting. You're going to turn them away.
Sure. And that's one of the
Yeah.
reasons why that's not,
Yeah.
been our business plan.
Yeah, it's like we don't just sit there and bombard people with an email every single time. And
Of
like,
course not.
like I don't think attending a Pro Tour event should be something where like, hey, we should just now send them things all the time.
No, that's not.
So-
That's not the point. It's hey, we have OTB open next year. We want to send you something so you come back because you were here last year.
And maybe it's not even necessarily trying to sell them anything. It's just, hey, this is coming back. You came
Yeah.
last year.
Did you like it? Give me a survey. Tell me what you liked about it. You got in for free. Did you enjoy it? What did you like? What didn't you like? How can we improve our service?
Feedback loop.
Yeah, absolutely. You're customers. Even if you give it away for
No,
free, they're
I
still
understand.
customers.
I understand they're a customer, but
It's not necessarily. It's to make a better product. That's all we're talking about is to make a better product.
Yeah,
and to get people to show up for a better
all I
product.
care about is getting people to show up. That's all I care about because it's disc golf's biggest issue.
Show up
Yeah,
and
I
have a
agree.
good time.
Well, I think they're going to have a good time. I think
I
that's
agree.
built
Probably.
in. Like,
Unless
I think
there's
they will.
20,000 people. Should be a great problem to have. But
like,
that is a little bit of a
if
problem.
that's a problem, then like it's a great problem.
Yeah,
That's the
absolutely.
best disc golf problem ever possible.
I would love to see 20,000. We could fit 20,000 people out there,
Yeah.
but that's
That's not happening.
Not without,
5,000
like,
people would be great.
I
The
don't think that's
volunteers
happening
pulling
either,
out
so.
all their hair
Yeah.
No,
and the Sean's losing their
Yeah.
shit.
The
I
growth,
just,
the
I
growth-
just think if you make tickets free, like you get 1.5 times the people's.
I think it would be more than that. And I think if I'm arguing from Sean's standpoint, 1.5 isn't good enough for me.
Yeah.
It's going to be a giant loss of revenue.
Yeah, because your infrastructure to support
Man.
those people, pick up the trash, having porta potties, enough porta potties for them,
Any number of
and
things.
having
It
good
just-
people to move people around. and
Say
make
they
sure don't-
spend twice the amount of
So,
money. Still, like
what was
that's
the number,
just not
what was the
going to
number
be
per day
Correct.
last year? Do we know?
I
Oh,
don't
no.
know. I don't.
No.
I mean, call it 1,000 just for easy
Yeah,
number.
Yeah. That's kind of where I was guessing, anyways.
Yeah. Yeah. And so it's like, okay, you get 1,500, like visually, sure, it'll look 50% more full,
Yeah.
Theoretically, but like, I don't think that moves the needle enough. I also think it would push a lot more people there if it was advertised well, like free. Say the advertising is all, mostly the same. We're not going to argue you should advertise more, but if the advertising is basically the same and it's just free and everybody, gets the word, like I think that Thursday, Friday, or whatever,
Yeah.
would blow up.
I think you would appeal to more disc golfers.
Sure.
And not necessarily once you tell the general public that it's free, it doesn't it cheapens the
Maybe. I'm not
I
so
don't
much worried
agree.
about that.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
don't.
It gets the general public, I think, to Aaron's point too. It's like it actually gets the general public a little bit more interested in the sport, even if it's free, whatever. I don't know. The more free stuff to do, the better.
yeah,
Yeah.
true.
Free, way cheaper. I just think it needs to be.
I'm fine with $1 tickets. $1,
Yeah.
essentially free with
I'm
how
just,
inflation is. That's
I'm someone
fine.
that thinks that
Or just
ticket
sign up.
once again, I think ticket prices for everything have gotten out of control.
Sure.
It's all like corporate backed, and I think one of the reasons why I'm liking going to raves so much is it's very accessible. The price point's cheap. It doesn't feel corporate in there. It feels like a
Hulu's
natural,
expensive, but not
Hulu's
corporate, right?
expensive, but it's like also 4 days in camping, and I'm
Yeah.
spending $600. Like
Yeah. That's pretty much High Sierra. It's extremely not
Boone Fling's a
corporate.
deal. Check mark. Not Boone
Fucking
Fling.
hey, fucking
But-
hey. We talked
But, like also
about
like
it.
I bought tickets to the rave the other day for $15.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
that's and way bigger production value. Maybe not as like spread out,
Hmm.
but like the actual production is better than the Pro Tour,
Sure.
but it's like a much cheaper price point.
Hmm.
And I just think that's the way everything should be.
What
Like,
about I'd love to see a profit and loss from that rave too.
true.
And
Agreed.
curious, what all it takes to run that. I'm not even going to guess which one
I
is
have
more
a
expensive
really
to start.
good idea of how
I
to
had
run a
the
rave.
feeling you might.
I have a really good idea of how to run a rave.
Yeah.
There's some great
it's
ones.
a concert.
It
Well,
is a
would it-
concert.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
just a
for
concert.
sure.
Like
It's
it's a concert
It's
with.
an underground concert. Well,
It's
depending.
not even underground anymore.
it's
It's
not.
just
I
like
mean,
it's at venues.
It's exactly.
It's the
it's a-
same thing as it used to
You're
be.
DJs, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So
I mean, sometimes
your
some of
sound
the
system,
people.
your lighting.
So the one, the
Mhm.
$15 one,
Security,
the $15 one, I bought is
venue
this
rental.
group No Good, and one guy plays guitar and one guy plays drum pads.
it's a nightclub.
Yeah, it's basically a nightclub.
It's a nightclub show like Harlow's, or I mean, probably bigger spaces. I would
Yeah,
imagine.
it's the Midway, and then
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah.
so a little bit bigger, but
So how
not
many people
not
in
much.
there, you think?
1,000. This one was 1,000 ish.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
So
you're,
good.
you're into the Fillmore size ish, right in there. Those
Yeah.
mid
Regency Ballroom was 2,000 maybe 1,500
and
2,000.
15 now $15 GA. They must have had higher ticket prices for other
Nope.
options. Nope, just
Nope.
$15. Boom, boom.
Yep.
It's nice when you just have a
15 grand revenue and then a 2-drink minimum?
No,
Or was one of the
that was-
spots?
that was in Texas for the comedy show.
Okay.
all right. I got to roll,
Yeah.
boys.
That's easy.
All right.
Sweet.
Well,
Yeah.
until
Call it.
next week.
Yeah.
Bye. Bye.